I've spent $25,000 this year into coaching. And if you're scared to do that, let me just like ask you this. Everyone in our society pays, you know what, 50 grand to 150 grand to go have someone read a book for them to maybe get a job in what they like doing, you know, maybe, or follow that dream, that fire inside of you and pay someone, you know, 5 grand, 10 grand, 13 grand, whatever it is, 25 to literally get the knowledge from the people who have the actual results you want.
And this is going to be podcast episode number 1, where I'm going to be interviewing entrepreneurs all around the world and giving you guys insights on how you can be a successful entrepreneur, just like Miss Claire right here. So Claire, how's it going? What's up?
Well, thanks for the intro. First podcast. I didn't know I was the first one. That's great. I feel honored.
You didn't know?
No, I thought you already did a few.
I didn't give you the memo?
No. So, all right. Well, let's rock it because this is my first podcast too. So we're going to kill it.
Yeah. Well, basically, I guess how this podcast series is going to go is, like I said, I'm going to be interviewing, you know, entrepreneurs across the world, giving the audience some tips on how they can be successful in turning their passion into profits and chasing their dreams and going and trying to go towards financial freedom, financial security, or whatever really it is. I guess question number 1 is like, what got you started in entrepreneurship?
Oh my God. Okay. Honestly, I feel like I was just like, I know people always say like it's an entrepreneur built or born. I don't really know, but I know I was like, literally as long as I can remember, I was always trying to sell everything. I loved making crafts when I was like younger. So I would even I remember I used to like blow up water balloons and put like mini water balloons inside of the blue ones and like call it a fish tank. And I would literally try and sell those. Okay. And then it got to the point where
I try to sell water balloons.
Yeah, as fish tanks. Okay.
As fish tanks? Where would you find the fish?
A little bit of water. No, the fish would be like mini water balloons, like just like a little bit of air. And then you put them inside.
Oh, you'd sell that?
Yeah. Dude, I was like queen of lemonade stands. And then, you know, we're in like now I'm in marketing, but back then I was like, I figured out that if we sat on the coolers and looked really sad, we actually got more business. So I do a lot more ethical marketing these days. But I will say I was a little hustler when I was younger too. But yeah, so now those are not the practices anymore. But
so would you say like you were born to be an entrepreneur? Would you say?
I don't know. I was just always obsessed with like owning my own business. Like by the time it came to going to school, like I already had in my head, like literally I was going to college for entrepreneurship originally. Like
really?
Is that even a thing? Like you're gonna, I don't know. So, but yeah, really, I was signed up for that, and then I ended up moving to Charleston. They didn't have any entrepreneurship things there, so I was just like going for commercial real estate, which I don't know. I just was going to please everyone else until I finally dropped out. So
yeah, and by the way, just tell the viewers, how old are you?
I just turned 21 like 2 days ago. So
turned 21 2 days ago. When you started your entrepreneurship journey, you were what age? You were
I went full-fledged when I was 19. I started my social media management business. So
2 years ago.
Yep.
So 2 years ago you started, and it's been
whoa. Wait.
Oh, when you were younger. No, you started. You were an entrepreneur when you were 5. Remember, I
think because I just celebrated a year in business, so I think it might have been like I was just turning 20. I mean, I started my entrepreneurship journey like I feel like way back when, but when I really like quit my job and like went full out, I was like 19, probably just turning 20.
Okay, got it. So 19, just turning 20. So maybe just over a year, you would say. Right, like truly an entrepreneur. I mean, I guess
no job, pulling money out of thin air entrepreneur. Okay, like that was for a year. Yeah.
And so, you went to school for entrepreneurship, and you had this like mindset of wanting to become an entrepreneur, like even back then in maybe elementary or maybe high school. When did the idea of like like come to you? Because a lot of entrepreneurs that I know, like a lot of times they become entrepreneurs because they don't want to work for somebody or they want to chase a passion of theirs. So was that always in your head ever since you were young?
Yeah.
I don't want to work for somebody. Has that
Yeah,
always?
I think like ultimate freedom, which I'm still like super driven by today, is like my whole motive. And now it's like I always wanted to be nomadic, right? So I was always looking
Yeah.
up like success stories of like how can I travel like working a job? You just can't, right? Like I like the fact of having like 1 or 2 weeks off like blows my mind. And I was like, I can't deal with like I cannot settle for that. So I was like
Just
that
having
always
2 weeks of vacation for a whole year.
yeah. So then like it got to the point where I noticed like, okay, then I work and I like being nomadic when I was younger was like this huge thing. Right. And I was like, how am I ever going to get there? But then it's like, whatever. So after years of working, saving money, doing all this stuff, then finally quitting my job and starting my own business and doing this, like I got that. And then I traveled for, 8 months of just literally living in hotels, like bouncing around, Airbnbs, had no plan whatsoever. It was a great time. But then I noticed like I started going through like challenges and being like, okay, I have all this freedom now and I have everything. But like I was still like, there was like a little bit of unfulfillment there where I was like, but now what? Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm finding actually giving that freedom away to other people is actually how I don't want to say like coping, but like how I've reignited that flame of like excitement. So
Yeah.
like I'm hiring on my team now and kind of like giving back that freedom to people where it's like, it's literally in my little handbook or whatever you call it. So before we onboard anybody, we go through like saying, welcome to the team and like freedom for you to like as long as I think if you set really high expectations for what you want done, like, I don't care how you deliver it. If you want to work on your computer in the middle of Bora Bora and you can get your work done in 2 hours, I don't care as long as it's done and it's efficient. You know what I mean? So it's like something like that's really important for my team.
Yeah. So just so maybe I don't know if the audience is confused or not. So right now
We're kind of going
you're in
on.
marketing. You're in marketing, and you have a digital marketing or social media marketing company, right? Where basically, what do you do as a social media manager?
Yeah. So we create the content, plan the content, do the marketing strategies, all of that. And then we also have a sales team. So yeah, we're kind of do like marketing and sales on social media. So we have one team who does like, builds the strategies for the month. They build all the content. We give video logs, everything to our clients. So it's basically all done for you. We build raving fan communities on social media, build your page into like just a, full-fledged thing. And then we turn all of that with like the content getting lead generation and everything. We turn that to our sales team who then actually converts the audience, books calls and things like that.
Okay, awesome. So basically you're helping these, and generally the people that you're helping right now, I believe they're all entrepreneurs, all like coaches, and I mean they're different types of industries they're in.
Yeah, different industries. We focus on helping those with like coaches, trainers, consultants, and selling high ticket. That's where we flourish best.
That's where you thrive.
Yes.
Okay, so that's generally the target audience that you serve, and you help them with their marketing and helping them get leads to their sales team so that they can close high ticket sales.
Yeah, we focus on basically helping sell high ticket on social media.
Got it. And you did mention, and for those who just don't know, like you mentioned, like being nomadic, right? And I came across this term a long time ago, but for those who don't know what nomadic means or what it means to be a digital nomad, like what would your best definition? Because would you call yourself a digital nomad?
Yes.
Yes.
Up until maybe right now. I don't know. I was supposed to be in Charleston for a week and it's been 4 months. So we might just live there.
So like, I mean, I think that's still a nomad, right? Still a digital nomad.
I mean, I'm literally like staying on a couch right now, which doesn't sound glamorous, but like I said, I was supposed to be staying here for a week and then I ended up moving with my friends. So I'm actually looking for an apartment here, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
So how would you define a digital nomad?
You don't have a set home base. It's just kind of like the best way I could describe it to people is I was always just saying like, I'm just a girl in the world. So like literally if an opportunity came up, like I was like, yeah, I'll go to this event. And then I guess I just live here for a little bit. And then I would like tour around and just live in different Airbnbs or like hotels. There were some nights where I literally was like, oh my God, it's like 8 p.m. and I don't have a bed yet because I've been like driving or like, I don't know. I'm very spontaneous. So I would just say someone who's just, you don't have a set home base. You're just traveling around consistently full time.
You're traveling around consistently full time and making money online. That's what makes you a digital nomad.
Yes.
Perfect. So basically at the young age of 19, 20, when you first started, you left and your home base is where again? Is it Charleston? Is that where you're? No. Right now.
Yeah. Charleston.
South I mean, Carolina. Like where you left and started your journey.
Yes.
You were based in Charleston. So you're based in Charleston. And then after that, you're like, man, I want to get out of here. And so you went on this journey of like traveling to different places in the States, right? You haven't traveled outside the States just yet?
That's actually a whole funny story too. I was supposed to be going to Bali and like do the whole Southeast Asia backpacking and then go to Europe. That was the plan. COVID.
Bali's cheaper.
Yeah. Well, actually that was like, remind you when I quit my job, I think I was making like $300 a month with my business. But like, you know, as entrepreneurs, we know like the vision, which now we make a lot more than $300 a month. But at the time I had some savings and a vision. Okay. And these $300. So I'm like, so I was like, well, it's fine. Cause my rent in Bali was $400. So I was like, it's fine. We'll be good. And we'll like build up the business there, you know, whatever. And then they were like 2 weeks before I was supposed to go, they literally just shut down Bali. And I was like,
was it COVID? During COVID?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Cause like at first you could get in, but I just had a quarantine, but I was like, oh, I'm going to stay there for a while. So it's fine. But yeah, so then I had no plan and I know I was getting kicked out of where I was living because like not anything bad, but you know, my 2 years was like up. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going back home to Buffalo. Like that was just not even a question. So I was like, I don't know what to do. So I was supposed to sell my car in that 2 weeks and then just go to Bali. And then I was like, well, I'll just keep my car and I guess drive. Like I had a friend in Kentucky. So I literally had 5 days of my life planned out and a suitcase in my car.
Yeah.
And then we left.
And then just tried to make. So did you already have your first client prior to leaving? Or
yes,
did you already had one? You had one.
One, yeah.
It was the CBD company. That's
and it wasn't even like we were not doing all the things we do today. Like I said, like things just conspired. But at this time I was just, you know, planning posts for them, just very like little tasks around social media. Like I didn't even really know what a social media manager like really was at this point. I didn't know it was like a full job and like marketing, but it just kind of conspired into this like whole thing. Like I just got really into it and saw us growing and then people were buying and, you know, we were getting influencers, like big influencers on our tiny page to like, you know, expose us and like say things. And it was just like fascinating. So then I just started going in the rabbit hole and figuring out like, wow, this is actually like marketing and like, there's a lot to it besides just posting and captions. Right. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started.
Yeah. When it comes to you starting your journey in entrepreneurship and like, you know, getting your first client, I mean, like you mentioned like $300 a month. I'm like, did you feel at any point I mean, you probably did, but I'm just going to ask anyways. At any point in that time, did you feel scared that maybe they would drop you, you know, as a client? Or did you feel confident that, you know, they needed you and like you could at least get that secure income of like whatever they were paying you at the time?
I think that $300, like I said, it was literally not even for social media management. Like they did not hire me for that. I just kind of took it upon myself and was like, hey, can I do this like for free? Like, you know, I was just like, let me just do it, like whatever. So I started doing that. Originally, I was just supposed to like, you know, write some captions really quick, like on their things, like literally that's it. On like 20 posts or something. Not even. It was literally just like basically doing nothing. And then I was like, hey, like, do you mind if I, you know, try this out? Because at the time before leaving, when I was going to go nomadic and do all this stuff, I had this dream of like doing a travel blog. So I spent so much time focusing on algorithms and all this stuff, to like try and grow my blog once I started. But then it was all theory, right? Like it was all just content I was consuming, but I never had anything to actually practice it on. So when I started like looking at their page, that's when I was like, hey, I know you just want me to do this, but like we could do this, this, and this better. And they were like, I mean, okay, like, we don't really have time to do it. I was like, it's fine. Like, let me just do it. So again, like they didn't even like need me to do this, but I just wanted to, and it ended up literally working. Yeah. Like things started like, we started growing the brand. We started doing all this stuff and like getting all these influencers, like I was saying, and like, I was like, wow, okay, this is cool. Like, I like this. So that's kind of how it all started.
You're just helping them for free, I guess, or did they hire you for like a paid position for something?
Yeah, they hired me just for like, just a few like things, the little captions. And then I did all the rest just because I wanted to. And it was such a great learning experience. And to this day, I mean, I'm so close to that. Like they are literally the best people. So
yeah, so that's so awesome. And then we were chatting about this like yesterday.
Yeah.
Like over delivering, like one of the key success to being an entrepreneur is like over delivering and like going above and beyond, right?
100%. I think like with anything you do, like anything you do, because opportunities that you don't even know exist, like that, for example, like comes from just putting your best foot forward and always over delivering. And like, if your name's going to be on something, like just make it worth it, because you never know what's going to come out of it. And I say that like, oh, you never know what's going to come out of it, but like, don't like get yourself to the point where you don't even have to think like, oh, what am I getting out of it? It's more so just like the more you give, the more you will receive. Mm-hmm. And like, it's hard to explain, you know what I mean? Cause like I was trying to teach networking to someone and I was like, I don't know, man, like it sounds so dirty, but I'm like, you don't like, it's not like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you don't actually need to give just to get something back, but that's just like how it ends up working. You know what I mean? You give just to give, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you give like, so I guess summarize your thoughts. Maybe you're trying to say like, no, you give just to give, right? Yeah. To serve the client. Exactly. And at the end of the day, you're not really looking for something, but it's just because that's just how the world works. When you give to somebody and you over deliver, most likely they're going to give back as well, because that's just how the world goes around.
Yeah. And I'm saying like, make sure you don't go in with that mindset of like, oh, I'm going to get something out of it. But I guess like on the other side, I'm just saying now that I look back to where I am now and be like, how did I get here? It's always because I'm like, giving to other people. And then it's just like, oh, wow. And then you create these relationships, which then create more relationships and then create more opportunities. And it's just like, it just blows up.
So 3 keys to your success, then what would you say? One is?
For sure, authenticity. Like
authenticity.
Yeah. Like literally just being yourself around people has gotten me really far. And then, man, 3, I can only pick 3. Relationships is a huge one. Mm-hmm. Like building really key relationships. I mean, look where we are today. Like, how do we know each other? You know what I mean? Reaching out and creating relationships. So that, and which I also teach in Rowell's like inner circle now. So it's, so relationships, being authentically yourself. And I would say, let's see, one more key to success. I would say over-delivering, honestly, like we talked about. Yeah, 100%.
Right. So authenticity. And that's such a key too. I mean, those 3 are definitely huge keys to my success as well. I mean, there's many things that lead towards success, but I mean, like if you're authentic, if you develop key relationships, and the way you develop key relationships is your 3rd point, which is you over deliver. You go above and beyond all the time. Like you mentioned, if you're going to put your name to something, then make sure you give your best and you do your best, right?
100%.
100%. So like you're 21 now, you turned 21 2 days ago. So happy belated, right? And obviously you have the social media company that you're trying to build, helping, coaches, consultants grow their social media and help them get a following so they can get more leads. Is there a specific business that you're like, you know what, like maybe not right now, but I do want to attempt and try this in the future?
Yeah. So we're actually building, so now that I'm hiring a team, I have some more time to like, put into things like that. So I'm excited. So recently I've been working on we're building modules and things right now to teach other people that want to, freedom-based lifestyle, work on their own terms, make their own income from their laptop, be able, you know what I mean? All of that, creating how to do exactly what I do now. So kind of like next tier above, right? So it's like right now we have the agency, and then we're working on building like a program kind of teaching you how to do your own agency, things like that.
Awesome.
Build your own 6-figure agency. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to basically help people become a digital nomad just like yourself and have the opportunity to make money online. And what would you say is the best thing about being a nomad?
You know what? So I get very antsy. Like I cannot tell you the last time I turned on a TV, like sitting, watching movies and stuff like for 2 hours. Like I just can't do that. So for me, like always being on the go, like I thrive on that. Like it's probably not a lifestyle for everybody, but if you like to have fun and travel and like, I don't know, you're very spontaneous, I definitely would say do it. It's a blast. I'm sorry. What was the question? I forgot.
I mean, the question is like, what would you say is the best thing about it?
Oh, the best thing?
Yeah. What do you say, in your opinion? Not for the people, but more so like for yourself. What have you found to be like, you know what? The best thing about being a digital nomad is, and then fill in the blank.
Okay. The best part about being a digital nomad to me is meeting the people. Like I'm a social butterfly. I absolutely love it. So like, there's something about like, okay, when you go on a vacation with someone, or like when we growing up, you're going with families, like, yeah, you meet cool friends and whatever, and you meet people. But let me tell you, when you're out in the world by yourself and like you're just forced to like meet people, you know what I mean? Otherwise you don't talk to anybody, especially when you're doing it for 8 months at a time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was just like, it's just a different experience. I cannot explain it. Like you meet so many people. And then also my favorite part, like I learned so much about myself in that 8 months because being out there, like things would happen. I'm like, shoot, like I literally know nobody here right now. And I'm just like by myself, like I need to figure out a way to get through this, like one time I like getting locked out of my Airbnb, like no one's answering. So then it's like, okay, I have no place to stay. And like, I can't find any hotels that have like openings, like, so like you're walking around and then it's late. And like, I mean, there's been some scary times that I went through and stuff, but like, you just learn so much about yourself and then you meet amazing people. Like I got stuck in San Diego a couple weeks ago and I ended up meeting this girl. We hung out like one night and we're like best friends. I talk to her like literally every day. Like it's hilarious. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And now she's back in Canada and it's just crazy.
She lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. So then when you say like you learn more about yourself, would you also say like you learn more about, so would you say you learned more about like how to become resourceful and how resilient you are? Would you say you learned that about yourself?
Oh, 100%. I mean, 100%. Like I said, like, especially being a female, like I do not want to turn anybody off from solo traveling, especially as a female. Here's a tip. Everyone was in my ear saying like, Claire, you're going to die if you do this. But back to Rowell's point, being resourceful, I know that like, okay, we can do this. There's other people doing it. So listen to success stories on YouTube, like literally listen to me telling you this, like right now, like things like that. Like, of course, keep your wits about you, but I don't know. Yeah, just do it. And then back to being resourceful, 100%. Like some of the things you run into, it's just like, how am I in this position right now? And then you figure out how to get out of it. And you're like, oh, okay. Like I did that, so it feels good.
Yeah. And like being resourceful and like figuring it out, like it makes you stronger the next time. Cause like, man, if I've been through this shit and I got past this shit, like nothing can stop me. And I feel like maybe that's where a lot of, your confidence comes from as well. Right. Were you always this confident in yourself or maybe not always?
No. No, definitely not. Growing up, that's actually something I like really struggled with. It's actually really funny. when I was younger, I dated this guy for like 4 years, and I swear to God, I had like zero confidence and I could not do anything by myself, which like the people who know me today, like anybody outside of knowing me from Buffalo, it's just like two completely different people. I feel like I was born in Buffalo, by the way. I don't think we mentioned that. So like growing up, literally, like if I had to get someone like a birthday present from the mall, I would be like I would have to go with someone. I remember oil changes. They actually like literally mentally just like fucked me. Like I was like, I have to drive over this little thing. Like I could not do anything by myself. I actually had like zero confidence and struggled a lot growing up with certain things, and forcing myself to just be on my own was the best thing I've ever done. And now I actually almost prefer it, which is really funny. Like I take myself on dates all the time, and I think that's so important. And everyone should do that. And real quick, being resourceful, like literally on my computer, I'm reading it right now, like on my background, it literally says, I'm resourceful. No matter what obstacles I encounter, I will find the networks, tools, and resources to always succeed.
But yeah, so like, and I feel like it's a similar story to me. Like you said, you forced yourself, right? Because the cool thing is, and I have a similar story where like I was useless too. I had no confidence in anything I would do because I grew up, like now I look back, I grew up like being spoiled, honestly. Like I never washed the dishes. I never did my laundry. I never did any of that stuff. Never did any of that stuff. And the only again, people who know me from back then and today, it's night and day, just like how you're saying. And one of the keys to my success is like forcing myself to move out and being on my own, because when you're on your own and you are forced to like figure it out, you have to figure it out, because if you don't, you're gonna die. You have to eat. You gotta find a place, right?
Like, I don't know about you, but I feel like honestly, like the times, like when I'm going through really painful times now, like, and I feel like giving up, I'm like, oh, I know I'm gonna like spring out of this, because don't you find like in those times that are the worst, like, and your back's up against the wall, is really when you just like explode into like something so much bigger.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. That's what happened to us. That's what happened to me yesterday, actually. I don't even think you knew the story, but obviously we did the Mexico trip, right? We did our first event. Actually, a lot of money lost in the Mexico trip because of like putting the event. There's a lot of hidden fees that I didn't know about, and then I ended up losing over like $15,000, right? There's a lot of money lost in this big debt. I was looking at it, I'm like, man, how the hell am I going to pay this off? And rent's about to come, and now I owe extra money because of something. I won't go into detail into that. And then I'm like, I need to pay Claire. I need to do all these things. I have all the expenses. I'm like, it's literally the end of the month. Like, where am I going to find money? And then I said to myself, well, I've been through worse shit, and I've been through these obstacles before. Just like you said, my back has been against the wall many times. I just need to go and look and be resourceful. So yesterday, looking through my messages and messaging people, and then I realized that I had a message I haven't like replied to yet. Someone asking for help. I hop on a sales call, and then we closed a $13,500 deal with this guy just yesterday, paid in full. And I'm like, that's why I called you after. I'm like, yo, Claire, like, yo, what's your, send me an invoice. I can pay you now.
I got this, dude. Give me that invoice.
Give that invoice. I can pay you now, right?
I love it.
And and it's so crazy. Like you said, like in your times of being put against the wall, right? It's like, that's like, you'll figure it out. You'll just figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, now that I think back to like this whole conversation, we would not be having this if like my life did not go to a complete shit show. Like you just said, like, when I left Buffalo, I left a bad relationship, whatever. I came to this new place and I was like, it's amazing. And then I kind of like band-aided up, right? Like at my first job here, I met this other guy and like whatever. And then I got these new friends and life was amazing, right? And it was so much fun. And then we broke up and I was like, well, all of our friends were the same friends because we worked in the same place. So I was like, well, now that's, I was like,
you lost all your friends.
So I'm like, okay, no friends. And I'm like, well, it's fine. Like, I'm in school now. Like, it's fine. Well, then 2 weeks later, COVID happens. So school is canceled. I'm like, oh, well, that sucks. It's fine. I'll just get, another job. Well, then I got fired. Well, like laid off because I was serving at the time. And like that went non-existent.
Need servers, yeah.
I know. So I'm like, okay. And then I was just driving one day and someone decides to rear end me because they weren't paying attention, totals my car. So now I have no car, don't know absolutely anybody. Like literally I knew no one here besides like the 2-year-old and the 5-year-old that I lived with, right? That I nannied for. Like they were like my best friends, but otherwise like talk about depression. I was in it. Okay. Like, I'm not even going to lie. I mean, like, I just felt like I had nothing. Like I moved to this new place, like lost all my new friends, school shut down. So I couldn't do that. Like work shut down, couldn't do that. I didn't even have a car to get another job. Right. So like literally I was going insane. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to do something. There was a grocery store 3 miles away from my house. That was the closest thing. I went there and I said, listen, I need a job, blah, blah, blah. And I rode my bike there. They needed me to be there at 5 a.m. Right. So every single day, I got up 5 days a week. I got up at 3 a.m., rode my bike, got there by 5. And that's what started this entire journey. So if my life was not a shit show mess in that situation, I probably would have been comfortable and just stayed in school and did whatever and been nervous. But like, my back was literally against the wall. I'm like, I need to get out of this. And now it's like that shit show though. I'm like so grateful that I lost everything because I wouldn't be who I am now if I didn't lose everything.
Wow. And that's such a powerful like story and lesson. It's just because like a lot of times we blame the shit that happens in our life, but really it's the shit that happens to us that makes us who we are today.
I know. That's why like now it's like I was saying before, anything that bad happens, I'm like, what is going to be so fabulous coming out of this? I'm like, I know it's coming. Something's coming.
That's an awesome mindset. Like this famous Tony Robbins quote. He says that, life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you. Yeah, life always happens for you. And if you have that belief that, you know what, I'm going through the shit right now, like I can't wait till the good starts to enter, right? This is just a phase that's happening right now, this bad shit that's happening in my life. But I know at the end of the day, something is good going to come out because nothing ever stays bad forever, right? Exactly. And good will come out of, as long as you have good intention.
Yeah, things are not perfect. Like even to this day, I mean, like, just recently I've been even struggling again because like I started bringing on a team and like, that's new and scary, right? I'm like, now I don't even just have to pay my bills. I need to pay 3 other people's bills. I'm like, that's intense, right?
I feel you.
Yeah. So, I know Rowell's out here paying my bills. No. But like, yeah, that's new, right? So then it's like, we get this like, oh my God. And like last month we had like our record breaking month. And then this month I'm like, okay, commissions are rolling in. Like, come on.
Yeah, just to so you had your record breaking month. So like, I mean, you're a digital nomad. Would you say last month was the most money you've ever made?
Yes.
And how much? If you don't mind sharing. I don't know if you do mind, but
yeah. So I mean,
revenue. What did you do? Revenue,
yeah, we made over 8K. Wow. So for me, I mean, it's nowhere. I will say that's nowhere where I want to be. Some people will be like, wow. Some people will be like, no. But I mean, I was really excited about it. But I'm still like,
you can do more.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You're a high achiever. I mean, I know.
I'm like, see, that's one thing though. We need to try and be grateful. So I take that back. I'm excited about the 8K. Okay. For being young and whatever. It's good. It's more than money than I'd be making at the grocery store. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I don't mean to sound old. When I was 21, I wasn't making 8K a month. I was making 1.5K a month working for somebody. You're making 8K a month revenue working for yourself. So that's amazing. So, you got to give yourself a pat on the back for that because like, honestly, by the time you get to, again, I don't mean to sound old, but by the time you get to my age, you're probably going to be doing like 30, 40, 50K, probably even 6-figure months, most likely.
Right now I have, so for the end of the year, we're like on track to be hitting 15 a month, like consistently. So that's in the works right now. But honestly, like with commissions and stuff, so I just hired on a full sales team. Actually, today is our first day. So after this podcast, I'm going on a onboarding call. But so once we get that going, because yeah, it's just, I have like 5 full-time jobs, as any entrepreneur knows. We all do. So now that I'm trying to like delegate and stuff that out, again, I'm just one person. So now that I have other people that are coming on to like actually help in those areas, especially sales, we all know sales is super lucrative. So we're hoping to even maybe exponentially raise that. So, it's all in the works. It's in the works.
Yeah, it's all in the works. Everything is in the works. So that's amazing. Like, you're on pace. You're 21 years old. You're on pace to making 15,000 a month in revenue with your agency. And I mean, you're going to start the other business, which is going to be helping other people to do what you're doing and make a living as a digital nomad. And so I guess just to end off this podcast, I guess it's like, what advice would you have for other aspiring entrepreneurs? They don't even have to be entrepreneurs, just people who have a dream, they have a passion, they just don't know where to start or how to start. Like, what would be your like one piece of advice or motivational, whatever you want to give them?
Yeah. So I'm going to give 2. One's going to be basic that you hear all the time. And it's like, just literally do it. Like, don't listen to other people. Action leads to results. Okay. And like another thing, like business is not, at all luck. Okay. Like it is not luck that I'm making 8K a month, on track for 15 by the end of the year. And I'm 21. Like I promise you, that was not because I'm lucky. I've spent $25,000 this year into coaching, and business coaching to get the exact plays and things that got me to this point. Okay. Like literally pay for the knowledge. And if you're scared to do that, let me just like ask you this. Everyone in our society pays, 50 grand to 150 grand to go have someone read a book for them to maybe get a job in what they like doing, maybe, and then have 2 weeks off, or you can like follow that dream, that fire inside of you, and pay someone, 5 grand, 10 grand, 13 grand, whatever it is, 25, to literally get the knowledge from the people who have the actual results you want. Don't get your results and your knowledge from someone reading a book to you. Get it from someone who's in the game, who's hungry, who has the hustle and has the things done, because that's what I did. And you just replicate it. It's a science, guys. Business is a science. It is not luck. Okay. You just do the right stuff and you'll get there. It is hard work, but it's still, there's a method to the madness, right?
There's a method to the madness. I mean, learning from other people. I mean,
and then,
I do the same thing.
Yeah. And then the second one that's like, I don't hear too many people say is like, literally you have to be strong enough to fill your mind with success stories, because I promise you, even to this day, like majority of my life without my entrepreneur groups and people that I've paid to sit next to, in my daily life, like there's a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of, like people say against the business, whatever it is, right? A lot of negativity, or people saying it's cool, but, oh, you can't do that, whatever, what I'm trying to say. So to combat that, like constantly feeding your mind, like I remember before going nomadic, like I said, everyone's telling me you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, right? You're the solo female, you're going to die. Me, I would literally go and for 45 minutes, like during my workouts every single day, I would literally listen to solo female success stories of travelers. And I would just listen to them say how amazing it was, how safe they were, how whatever, right? Because if I go solo traveling and be like, I'm going to die, like you go with that mindset, you're probably going to die. So like, do not let people around you justify your life. Like create it within yourself. Go on YouTube, listen to success stories, listen to podcasts like these, like literally do what you have to do to fill it and find your people. Even if you can't, like, even if I'm not sitting next to you right now, we just create a little bit of relationship, right? Like you're just listening to this, listen to a success story, someone who's done it, and just know, like, even us, like anyone, where you're listening to this podcast right now, like we go through shit every day, but just overcoming that,
Yeah. And like, just to end off, that's why I tell people, you have to make sure you fill your mind with beliefs that empower you to become successful. Would you agree with that?
Oh my God. It's like 90 million% psychology. And like, then you just got to do the stuff you learn.
I always tell people 2 things. You got to let beliefs in that empower you to become successful, and reject all beliefs and thoughts and phrases and words that disempower you to fail. Right.
Exactly.
So I mean, that being said, thank you so much, Claire, for being the first person on my podcast. I don't even know the name of my podcast. So yeah,
let's go. Woo!
let's go. Give yourself a round of applause for being
the
the number one. And we're going to clip this and you're going to have some cool stuff. You said a lot of amazing stuff. So I was already thinking in my head, like what I'm going to give you some clips and then you can post it. I think.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate this. And we'll do more podcasts. We'll be huge in no time.
Yeah, do
I
this.
know it.
Next time, next time, I'll probably have my own space. I'll probably fly out here, maybe do a digital nomad here in Toronto or something.
Yeah.
And we'll go jam out and do it again because I'm sure, especially with how entrepreneurship goes, like you're gonna go through something crazy, and I would love to hear the story of all the ups and downs and all the success you're gonna be.
I'm sure we'll have more stories next week.
Oh yeah. There's always like next week there's gonna be a new story. Right.
Oh my God.
Next week there's going to be a new story. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. This was fun as usual. It's always fun hanging with Rowell. So next time.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Claire. Have a good one. Bye.